Okay, let's start off with section 102. I'll quickly revise section 101 so you are able to come at par. Section 101 was about what actually? Can anyone tell me? It was about notice. Right. So section 101 is about notice. Who do we give notice to? Tell me three people who it is mandatory to give notice to. Members, legal representative of deceased member and official assignee of insolvent member. Next, auditor. Next, directors. So mad people are given notice. Member, auditor, director, right? And according to SS2, which few more people whom we give? Debenture trustee. This much is enough. Okay. Now coming to preference shareholders. Do we call preference shareholders for voting? No. When do they get voting rights? When it affects their rights, or if dividend is not paid for 2 years, then they get a right to vote on all matters. Okay. Alright, I hope you people revise section 101. After I am done with the class, I will give a pop quiz that time today, okay, which will include previous section, previous content, and some content from today also I will be giving, so that new students, since there are three people, you people can also write the pop quiz. It is just one word to one line answer from what I am teaching right now. Okay, some portions will be from before, some portions will be from today. So at least today's portions you can attempt. Okay, so now let's go on, and I hope all of you remember the rule. You all have to open your mouth in my class. Whenever I ask something, you have to repeat that word. Okay, all of you, I need to see the lips opening, the mouth opening. If your lips is closed, what will I do? I'll put Fevicol and you remain like that itself, closed. Okay. So next is your explanatory statement. Okay, section 102 is about explanatory statement. What do you know about explanatory statement already? Section 101 dana notice irke, right? Idile special business ke, it is mandatory to give explanatory statement. Whatever is the special business, idupati, whatever is the explanation has to be given, right? Next, special business transacted has to give an explanatory statement. What will you give in the explanatory statement? What is the nature of concern or interest of director, manager, KMP and relatives? That means in this business, any director, KMP is interested in the Madri, disclosure has to be made in the notice in the explanatory statement, right? For example, the company is planning to buy raw materials from a firm in Dubai and it is one of the director's wife's firm. Then that has to be mentioned in the explanatory statement that our director, Mr. So-and-so, is interested in the resolution because it is his wife's company. Okay. Any other information, facts that may enable them to understand the meaning, scope and implications. Yesterday I have already showed you an explanatory statement. If we are appointing a new director, we will write about their educational qualification, about the remuneration, why that person is a good fit for the company. All this will be mentioned in the explanatory statement. In case of AGM, all business to be transacted shall be deemed special other than ADDA. Remember ADDA, already this has been completed. For new students, you might feel like I am going too fast, but this all topics has already been taught. That is the reason you will feel I am going faster. Some of this is repeated content. Okay. In case of any other meeting, all business shall be deemed to be special. This all of you know, right? AGM is equal to which business? Plus? And EGM is equal to? Correct. So this is what they are trying to tell over here. And what is ordinary business? This is ordinary business. Rest all the business is special business. Where any special business to be transacted relates or affects any other company, the shareholding of that every promoter, director, manager or other KMP, if it is not less than 2% of PSC, shall be set out in the statement where any item of business refers to any document to be considered, where it can be inspected shall be specified. Now let me tell you this with an example, what they are trying to say over here. If any special business we are planning to transact in the company and that is affecting other company, means the example which I gave you, A Limited planning to buy a very big amount of raw materials or take a loan from, say, B Limited. Okay, it is affecting any other company, correct? Now, extent of shareholding interest in that other company of every promoter, director, manager, means A Limited le promoters will be there, directors will be there, managers will be there. Am I right? If A Limited ke promoter, director, manager, if they are holding more than 2% shares in B Limited, more than 2% shares in B Limited, then it has to be disclosed. Are you able to get the hang of what I am trying to say? There is a company called A Limited. A Limited le Mr. A is the promoter, Mr. B is the director, Mr. C is also a director. A Limited is planning some business with B Limited, okay, and this Mr. B who is here, Mr. B who is here is holding 5% shares in B Limited. He is holding more than 2%. This has to be disclosed, that Mr. B as a director is holding more than 2% shares in B Limited. Is that okay for all? Where any item of business refers to any document which is to be considered at the meeting, time and place can be given where it can be inspected. Now, A Limited and B Limited, for example, are entering into some kind of a contract. In the contract ke documents, where it can be inspected, supposing as a member, A Limited, B Limited, what contract they are getting into, I want to check the contract. So you have to mention in the notice, inge contract ke documents available irke, in the place le, in the time le, ninga vandite paakla in the contract ke documents. That has to be mentioned, okay. For anyone who's in some other thoughts, please come back to the class. Kindly pay attention. Next is effect of non-disclosure. What do you mean by effect of non-disclosure? This manager, director or MD has not disclosed in the notice that we are going to get some benefit because of this contract. Disclose a panliya notice le. Apro, what will be the compensation for them? They have to compensate the company for how much benefit they are getting, 50,000 rupees or 5 times the amount of profit, whichever is higher. This also we have explained it before. It's a repetitive content. Question important. I told you, CSLA, they ask questions from some corner, some sentence, correct? This is that sentence. What is the sentence over here? Explanatory statement is vague and tricky. What do you mean by vague? Confusing. It is not clear, correct? It is vague. Proper clear details is not given. Or tricky irke, or insufficient irke. Full disclosure is not made. Misleading irke. They are saying something but normal person will understand something else. That is known as misleading. If this way is the explanatory statement, then the resolution which you pass will be bad in law. For example, you are appointing a new director. Ning explanatory statement le education qualification mention panita, ella experience mention panita, but you did not mention something like he has been the company in which he was working had thrown him out because of fraud. It was never proved in the court, but the company asked him to leave because he had committed fraud. He had swindled a large amount of money or something of that sort. In the Madri, this thing is something which is insufficient disclosure. They did not mention in the explanatory statement. Then that resolution will be bad in law. Case study is important to remember. Is that okay? Explanatory statement need not be annexed to the EGM notice convened by the requisitionist. They may disclose when they propose to move at the meeting. This part also has been explained to you yesterday. Do you remember? Requisitionist called for a meeting and they did not give explanatory statement. Why they did not give explanatory statement? They want to explain in the meeting. I gave you one example also. Do you remember that example? Yeah, any directors are involved in the fraudulent activity, and if the members tell this before itself, the directors will get careful. So the requisitionist will say, we want an EGM and we are wanting to discuss about removal of a director. But where details we are not wanting to give now, we will discuss it in the meeting. Is it allowed? Yes, it is allowed. Only when the meeting is called by whom? Requisitionists, and not when it is called by the directors or the board. Is that okay till here? So this entire content was actually already discussed yesterday. It was only a revision. Am I right or wrong? So section 101 and 102 is done. Quickly, I'll help you revise. Notice always has to be in what? Can it be oral? How many days notice? 20 days. For section 8 company? 14 days. And if you are sending the notice by post? 48 hours. Very good. Shorter notice can you give? How many people have to agree for shorter notice? Not less than 95% members entitled to vote. Rules were very simple. I told you to write down few of the important rules. That is your electronic voting, the definition of electronic voting, the requisitionist part and explanatory statement part, and one more thing I told you to write, no? Have you written? Did you all write? Yeah, subject name should contain name of the company, which meeting, what date, all that it should contain, right? Transmission part, you remember proof of sending has to be mentioned, and if the transmission, it was transmitted but it has not reached the person, then it is beyond the control of company, company will not be liable, responsible. Is that okay till here? Accidental omission I told you one more point. Do you remember? If the company says, I don't know that you are a shareholder, so I did not send you the notice. Can this be an accidental omission? No. And irregular notice. Irregular notice. I gave you one thing to write. It has to be issued only with authorization of the board, and for that I have given you one case study. Correct. Did you all write down in your written notes? I had also mentioned it as a homework. Did you write that? It is not in the book actually. There is some things which is actually not there in your ICSI book also. Not my study material, it is not there in the ICSI book itself. But that does not mean they will ask questions only from this ICSI book. That is the problem with CACS, CMA exams. They can ask something which is not even in the 1000-page material also what they provide, they can ask something from outside that. It is from guidance note or secretarial standards 2 issued by the ICSI. And that is only for general meeting, and that note itself is 170 pages as I told you. I'll take out important parts from that and give you a basic thing, okay? So you remember that? Did you all write that part? How many of you forgot to write it in the written notes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay. Fine, I'll give you a break today, that time you are supposed to write it. Okay, I'll give you one writing and pop quiz break now. That time you're supposed to please note it down. It's there in WhatsApp. Okay. So this is all about your section 101, 102. Today we are going to start a very important section which is known as quorum. Okay. So all of you please focus. Especially the new students, this is not at all related to what has been taught. It is a fresh topic, so you will be able to understand this properly. All right, all of you take out your written notes. Section 103. Section 103. Have you heard of this word ever? Quorum? Not heard? Okay. Anyone who has had law paper sometime in BCom college, na, they would have heard of this word. Else you would not have heard of this word. Simple meaning is what? Quorum means minimum number of members required to attend the meeting to make it a valid meeting. This is the simple definition. Quorum means minimum number of people should be present in the meeting. Now I'll give you the notes to write. Please write it down. Refers to minimum number of members required to constitute a valid meeting. Meeting can be anything. Any people meeting can be a meeting. But is it a valid meeting? That has to be decided according to Companies Act. Okay. Now, who are this minimum number of people, ma'am? Private company, na? 2. Private company, what will be the quorum? Minimum, it will be 2 only. If articles want, they can prescribe a higher number. Okay. First, we will see what is for public company. Total number of members, quorum. I know it is written in your study material, but you are supposed to write it in your written notes. If you are not writing in your written notes, there is no point in attending the class, trust me. You will not be able to remember it. Reason I make you write down is you will be able to remember it. Do you have a notebook? Write it. You are writing, yes or no? You are writing? All of you are writing, right? This is not optional. If you are coming, it is mandatory. Even if when you are watching live or the videos, please write down whatever I am writing. Just pause the video and write it down. Okay. Now, public company, minimum number of members, how many should be there? What is the minimum number of members for public company? 7. Good. So, when the number of members is up to 1000, means 7 to 1000, right? What should be the quorum? 5. If it is 1000, 1 to 5000, it should be 15. If it is 5000 plus, it should be 30. And for both these cases, articles may prescribe a higher number. Articles of association is a charter document of a company. They prescribe certain things which might govern the relationship of the company with the insiders. Okay. So, Companies Act is saying what? Private company irukena, at least rendu pair should be there in the company to make it a valid meeting. Alright. For public company, these are the limits. But if articles want, they can say higher number. From 2, they can say 4. From instead of 5, they can say 10. But for this company, can they say no, 5, 3 itself is enough? No. Because articles can only prescribe a higher number, not lower than what is mentioned in Companies Act. Basically, articles cannot go against Companies Act. It can only make the conditions more strict. Now, this is all what the secretarial standards is telling about the quorum. Okay. Quorum shall be present not only at the time of commencement of the meeting but also while transacting business. Proxies is not included for quorum. One things is important, so let me just tell you one at a time. Okay. Now, what is proxy? That we will study later. In short, I am telling you, proxy means member himself is not present and instead of himself, he is sending someone else. Okay. So, quorum means what now? Quorum, while calculating quorum, I want the member to be personally present. Okay. Supposing or private company le 10 member irke. Quorum evado venu? 2. Private company. Quorum evado venu? 2. So out of 10 people, one pair dana he came himself, the other person he could not come, so he sent his brother as a proxy. Ipo meeting le evado pair irke? Rendu pair irke. One pair dana member himself, one pair dana proxy. Will it be quorum met? No, because proxy is not included in quorum. Is this clear? Absolutely clear? Sure, all of you? Quorum means member personally present. Proxy is not calculated, right? Done? இப்போ ஒரு situation imagine பண்ணுங்க. और public company ले 800 members are there. Quorum evado venu? Quorum. Quorum dana 5, right? Okay. So articles of the company sonna we have 800 members. We want quorum to be 10. Ipo what is the quorum? 10. So we need 10 people to be personally present. Meeting start panita. 4 mani dana meeting start aiche. We will wait for quorum for half an hour, right? Till 4:30 10 pair personally present irke meeting le. Is the quorum done? So we can start the meeting, correct? Meeting start panita. 4:30 I will check. Okay, we will start the meeting. Quorum is present. Ama 10 pair dana personally present irke seri meeting start panla. We started the meeting. Meeting le we have to discuss 5 business. One business, 1 discussion done, 2nd decision taken. Just before taking the 3rd decision, out of that 10 people, 3 pair dana brothers irke. Or phone came from the weed that there is some emergency. Apro 3 pair left the meeting. Ipo 3rd business le evado pair available irke? 7. Is quorum present? No. You cannot discuss the third business. Are you able to understand this point? So quorum ippovenu, you need quorum not just at the starting of the meeting, you need it for each and every business. If the chairman says, "Seri, okay, first na quorum present irke, ippo third business onwards discuss panla," it will not be valid. Decision taken will not be valid. Is this absolutely clear? You need quorum when? At the commencement of meeting and while transacting the business. Okay, I want you to speak along with me, both of you, lastly. Whatever they are repeating, please repeat. Okay? It helps you to remember when you hear your own voice. Alright? Is the first 2 points clear? Now third point. First, enna sonna, quorum means members personally present. Correct? What did I tell you? Companies actually fully exceptions irke. Yes, no? Idile or exception irke. In the company le, is it okay if the member is not present? Then also we will calculate him in quorum. What is that case? For example, government company irke, right? If a government company, there is one government company called CBA Limited. Government company की definition क्या है? Very good. Who should hold 51%? CG or SG or in any combination, right? So let's say CBA Limited le, CG is holding 30% of the paid up share capital. Tamil Nadu government is holding 25% of the paid up share capital. CBA Limited is a government company, right? Now, this central government is a shareholder and Tamil Nadu government is a shareholder. Who will hold the shares actually? Central government is holding the shares, but some representative will be there, no? Who will be representing the CG? For central government, it's always the president. And for Tamil Nadu government or any state government, it will always be the governor. This is okay. We have only one president in India and we have only one governor per state, right? So these people will be representing CBA Limited. Now, do you think the president can attend so many central government meetings? No. Do you think even the governor can attend so many meetings? No. So, only for these two people. Which two people? President and governor, we have given an exception. Enna exception irke? They can give a authorized proxy solomate. They can authorized representative. They can appoint an authorized representative. So, supposing president appointed Mr. Mohan as an authorized representative, governor appointed Mr. Rajni as a authorized representative. Is that okay? So, when president and governor appointed these people, now in the CBA Limited ke meeting irke, who should go for the meeting? Mr. Mohan should go and Mr. Rajni should go. These people will be included in quorum. They will be included as member personally present because they are authorized representative of central government and state government, not central government, state government, they are authorized representative of president and governor. Lot of people will have this question that president will hold so many shares. President is not holding in his capacity as a president. He is holding in the capacity of the central government. That is why it is allowed. If he is holding personally, it will not be allowed. You are able to understand this part, right? He is holding as part of the government. Okay. Now, supposing CBA Limited ke meeting irke, Mr. Mohan is not feeling well. So, he tells Mr. Jaswin, I am appointing you as a proxy. You go and attend the meeting. Now, will Mr. Jaswin be included in the quorum? No. He will be counted as proxy. Is this absolutely clear? President and governor appoints a authorized representative. They attend the meeting. Quorum le count ago, not proxy. But if they are not able to go and they send someone else, that person will be counted as proxy and not included in quorum. Clear? Clear this is? What does this mean? One person can be authorized representative of more than one body corporate. What does this mean? For individual members is different. Here we are talking not about proxy. Here we are talking about authorized representative, which will be included in quorum. Okay, so let's understand this. All of you know that company can hold shares in other company. Do you know that? Aprodana holding subsidiary relationship irkella, or company can hold shares in any other company. But can a company hold shares in its own company? No. Please write this down somewhere if you have not written this. Like a special note, you write it down. Company can hold shares in other company. Company cannot hold shares in its own company. Okay, not possible. This you don't put, you will get confused, otherwise it is right or wrong. You just write this. Basically, Reliance can hold shares in Tata, but Reliance Industries Limited cannot hold shares in Reliance Industries Limited. Reliance Industries Limited can hold shares in Jio. Reliance Industries cannot hold shares in Reliance Industries Limited itself. Is this clear? Any doubt about this? Okay. Now, one person can be authorized representative of more than one body corporate. Let's take an example. There is this company called KPR Mills Limited. How many of you have heard of this? Coimbatore company. Now, which company example should I give you people? Coimbatore company is theriyade. KPR College, all of you know. That you all know Mr. KPR, right? He is the founder of KPR College. He is having this KPR Mills. It's a huge listed company. It is a very big listed company. Okay, it's not a small company. So this KPR, this shares last few years back, the shares rocketed like anything, and from that his net worth became 1000 crores net worth. Okay. So KPR Mills Limited is this company. This company is having, say, shareholders will be there, right? Some Mr. K, some Mr. A, some Mr. C, like that. Then some companies also have invested in KPR Mills Limited. Which is this company? One more share. These are the shareholder list. shareholders. Okay, who all are the shareholders? AKAC is there, then LG Ultra Limited is there, then there is LG Rubber Limited, then there is LG Equipments Limited, and many other shareholders are there. Okay. Can you see these three companies are holding shares in KPR Mills? Now when KPR Mills will do its general meeting, these companies will also get the notice, correct? How will the company attend the meeting? Company itself cannot attend the meeting, no? Company's building will not get up, go, sit, not possible, right? So who will go for the meeting? Company's representative will go. Who will elect this representative? Every decision of the company who takes? No, da. Shareholders are not called for the small decisions. Board of directors. Shareholders have invested money and board of directors are the management people. They are only going to take all the small decision. Only for the big things shareholders meeting is called. So this LG Ultra, LG Rubber, LG Equipments, all of them had appointed Mr. Vijay as the authorized representative. Who appointed? The board of directors of LG Ultra, LG Rubber, LG Equipments appointed Mr. Vijay to be the authorized representative. So KPR Mills ke meeting happened and Mr. Vijay went and attended the meeting. So Mr. Vijay will be counted how many times? 3 times. Are you able to understand this? For quorum purpose, we will count Mr. Vijay how many times? Is this part clear? Are you able to understand why he is calculated 3 times? Because he is representing how many body corporates? 3 body corporates. So he is calculated 3 times. Is this okay? Any doubt? To constitute a meeting, but how many individuals we need? First itself we discussed, right? 2 individuals should be present in. Now, for example, if KPR Mills was a private limited company, for example, what is the quorum for this company? 2. Now, if only Mr. Vijay attends, he will be calculated as 3 member personally present. But actually, how many person is there in the meeting hall? Only 1 person. Imagine, can Mr. Vijay go sit in the hall and do a meeting himself? Not possible, no? How many people are required to do a meeting? Minimum 2 people. Only in special cases which NCLT approves only we can have 1 person. Otherwise, how many people required? Minimum 2. So, in this case, Mr. Vijay will be calculated 3 times, but still we need how many people for the meeting? 2 people. So, only Mr. Vijay is not quorum. Are you able to understand this part? Are you able to understand this? For instance, if a representative represents 3 body corporates, his presence would be counted as 3 members being present for the purpose of quorum. But he cannot be, if only he is present now, meeting is not a valid meeting because we need 2 persons. Is that okay? Sure. Next, members who voted by which e-voting? They have the right to attend the general meeting and the presence shall be counted for the purpose of quorum. Wherever I put Q like this means some question is possible from this corner. Member who is not entitled to vote because he is a related party will be counted for the purpose of quorum. Okay. Now supposing anyone who is doing share trading over here? No? Okay. Just imagine all of you have shares of Reliance. Okay. Where will the meeting of Reliance be held? Where is the registered office? Mumbai. Registered office of Reliance is in Mumbai. Where the meeting will be held? In Mumbai only. Correct? Since you are a shareholder, you got an email to do e-voting, electronic voting. Okay. you did the e-voting. But when the meeting date was there, no, e-voting will come before the meeting date, okay? On the meeting date, coincidentally, you were in the same hotel where Reliance AGM was being held. But you have already done the e-voting. Can you attend the meeting now? You can attend. You can go and attend. For example, if I would have already uploaded the online class before itself, you already saw the online class, will I allow you to sit in the class after that also? Come sit. Yes or no? Right? Because you have chosen face to face with recording, and if you have already attended, by chance if you have already seen the recording, maybe from the previous batch you have seen the recording, but still you want to come and sit and attend. Right? So Reliance is like, you did the e-voting, no problem. You want to attend the meeting, now come attend the meeting. But you think I will attend the meeting and one more vote I will put. That is it allowed? No. Voting is allowed only once. Ninge kaile or share irke na or vote irke. 10 share irke na 10 vote irke. In the madri dana system irke. So if you have 10 shares, you will get 10 votes. You have already done e-voting. Now can you come physically also and do the voting over there? No. Because your vote is already locked. Now you cannot vote anymore. But I want to attend the meeting. Yeah, sure, come attend the meeting. Are you able to understand this concept? Voting is allowed once, either e-voting or during the meeting. But if after voting you want to attend the meeting, no problem, you attend the meeting. And if you are attending the meeting, I will count you for quorum also. Are you able to understand this part? Any doubt over here? Sure. Now in this example of KPR Mills, Mr. A had already done the e-voting, but still he came to attend the meeting. Will we count him for quorum? Yes or no? Yes, we will count him for quorum. Can he attend the meeting? But can he vote again? No. Some of you may feel that I am taking you like kids and asking same question again. So that you don't get confused, because the volume is very high. If I go fast now, you will understand now, but later you might get little, you might forget it. And my intention is you should try to remember 50-60% in the class itself, at least the concepts. Now next option. Related party concept we will study later, but related parties are not allowed to vote. Okay, for that. Just say for example, I will give you small example. Reliance le Mukesh Ambani is one of the directors, right? And right now his 3 kids are also the directors. Okay. So when Mukesh Ambani is sitting as a director and his 3 kids are being appointed as a director, he is a related party for that, because he is interested. He wants his kids to become directors. They are related. Correct, Dana? So Mukesh Ambani cannot vote when his kids are being considered for a director. Are you able to understand this concept? Are you able to understand this? Related party is a very big topic which we will do later, but for now just understand Mukesh Ambani is sitting over here and he has to vote for his son to become a director. He cannot vote. He has to get up, leave the chair, ask someone else to carry out the resolution, they will vote. Mr. Mukesh Ambani is not allowed to vote because he is a related party in this case. Is this absolutely clear? So because I am a related party, I cannot vote. But I came for the meeting, will I be counted for quorum? Yes, I will be counted for quorum. But voting I cannot do. I already did e-voting. I can attend the meeting and I will be counted for quorum, but I cannot vote. Is this absolutely clear? Any doubt? For one-man meeting, single member cannot constitute a quorum. Already I have told you this. How many people are required? 2 people are required. Now again, for this rule also there is an exception. See, first they told quorum meeting minimum 2 members are required. Then they told about quorum, body corporate, 1 person can, members personally present only is calculated. Then they told if one person is representing 3 body corporates, he can be calculated for quorum. In that also they told exception, 2 people should be there. Then in that also one exception is there. Sometimes even 1 person is okay for a meeting. Can you understand? Exception, 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 exception. In which case 1 person is okay for the meeting? One is tribunal, which all of you know, right? One case is impractical to call a meeting. Tribunal may order a meeting to be held and direct 1 person, whether in person or whether in proxy, to be valid. Who can take this call? Tribunal. I told you one point last class, remember, if shareholders are willing to attend, tribunal cannot say that it is impractical to call a meeting. It cannot say that 1 person is okay, because members are willing to come. Only when you cannot find the shareholders, they are abandoned, we cannot find their address, apro practically let to hold a meeting. We don't know where. For example, me and 3 more people were shareholders in a company. Rest 3 of the people ran away somewhere. They are abandoned. They have abandoned everything. Address theriyade, inge poite theriyade, they did some fraud. Apro how to call the shareholders? Apro I will go to the tribunal only. No, see the rest of the 3 shareholders, I don't know where they are. One is in prison maybe, 2 of them are absconding. Then tribunal will say, I understand it is not practical to call a meeting. You itself is okay, you do the meeting and carry on with the company, appoint some new members. Are you able to understand what the situation is? So in this case it is possible. Next, when it is possible, a person is holding all the classes, all the shares of a class. In this case, class meeting can be done. Remember class meeting? AGM, EGM, class meeting. Class meeting means or company le 9% preference shares irke. Apro, if we are calling only the preference shareholders meeting, idike enna solvanga? Class meeting. Ippo ella 9% preference shares is held by only me. And if the company wants to call a 9% preference shareholders meeting, who will come for the meeting? Because member is itself only 1 person for that class meeting. Are you able to understand this part? Equity shares with DVR, one concept. Equity shares with DVR, they are calling a class meeting. Only I am holding all. Then who will go? Only I will go. So in that case, 1 person meeting is okay. Next, tribunal while ordering convening of meeting may direct 1 person present in person or proxy to constitute quorum. In both the case, who is taking the decision? Tribunal. When does the tribunal take the decision? Tribunal takes the decision in 2 cases for a 1-man meeting. When there is default in holding AGM. Another case, impractical to call meeting. In both these cases, tribunal takes a decision, 1 person is okay. What is the other reason when 1 person is okay? All the shares of that class held by 1 person. Then it is okay for a class meeting. Is this clear? Section 103 is a very important section. You mostly get 1 question from this section, okay? Especially this chapter 13 of general meetings is very, very important. You mostly get questions. It is not mostly, you will get maximum questions from this chapter. It can be up to 7, 8 to 13 marks from this chapter, okay? Up to 10 marks easily you can get from this chapter. In options and all, when you calculate, sometimes it is 7 marks, sometimes it is up to 13, 14 marks also. So this chapter is a very, very important chapter. You can get question either from notice or from quorum or from proxy or from any voting method. Any 1 question is possible. This is all about quorum. Then what will be the consequence if quorum is not present. How much time will you wait for the quorum? Half an hour. Indian Standard Time, everyone is late by half an hour generally. So half an hour is the waiting time for quorum. Correct? Next, if the people don't come now, what will happen? That is only for requisitionists. Meeting is never cancelled. Adjourned. Quorum not present, meeting adjourned. But meeting called by requisitionist, the meeting is cancelled. Remember what example I gave you for this? Where you people are asking to take class. I am willing to take the class and few people come na, the meeting will be adjourned only. Next day again I will teach. You people ask for a special class for some doubts and you itself are absent. Now do you think again I will call you people? No. Meeting will get cancelled. I will not. You people called the meeting and you itself are not coming. So meeting will be cancelled. Otherwise, if the quorum is not present, meeting stands adjourned. What do you mean by adjourned? Postponed. When will it get postponed? Like when will the next meeting happen? Next week, same place, same time. Next week, same place, same time. Or anything else decided by the board. Okay. If board does not decide anything, when does it happen? Next week, same place, same time. If board decides, it can happen on some other day also. And if that next week, same day, same place is a national holiday, then what will happen? Next to that day. For example, 7th August was the AGM. Quorum did not come. So you will adjourn it. That adjournment date is falling on 15th August. 15th August you can't hold a AGM, so it will be conducted on 16th August. Common sense type of things this is, which you will have to remember. Okay. Is that okay till here? If any member of a company has given a general power of attorney in favor of some other person to make investments and attend matters, including attending AGM, etc., and if the donee is present, then according to the Power of Attorney Act, donee is personally present and donee will not be deemed to be a proxy of the donor. What are they saying over here? Have you heard of power of attorney? Have you heard of this term? In some movies, serials, you would have heard, no? I have given my power of attorney to that person. What is this power of attorney? To represent them. It is power to represent them, right? Generally, as a company secretary, when you become a practicing CS, what will happen is your client companies, if any case comes on them, any issue comes on them, they will generally never go to the NCLT or court. They will give their power of attorney to the company secretary, where the company secretary will go and represent the client in the NCLT court. Okay. So, power of attorney is basically representing. One small example, for example, my father-in-law is not well. He's a paralytic person. He has a property in Rajasthan. He cannot go and sign the property for sale. So he will give the power of attorney to his wife. His wife can go over there and sign on his behalf. This is a power of attorney. General power of attorneys for all cases, it is he can go and represent that person. Now in this case, when a power of attorney is given to someone, donor is the person who is giving, donee is the person who is receiving. That donee can go and what can he do? If he is attending the meeting, he will be counted as personally present in the quorum. He will not be calculated in proxy. Is this clear? Absolutely. So when I have the power of attorney of someone and then I am going and attending the meeting, I am calculated in quorum because I am like an authorized representative. I am not a proxy. Is this absolutely clear? This was held in the case law of Tata Iron and Steel Co. Limited. Till here is it clear, or the entire part of quorum? Sure? Okay. I do not want to start chairman right now because I will not be able to finish it. We will take a small 10-minute break. It's not a break actually. You are supposed to do something. What are you supposed to do?